You're on Eat, Stay and Play with Jonathan and Jennifer, and today we are traveling from England into Wales. And while we're here, we're going to take you to one of our favorite restaurants in Bala, but we'll explore a little bit of the downtown Bala area. As we enter Wales, you can start to see the change in architecture and in landscape as well. We're in Snowdonia, the adventure capital of Wales, with mountain climbing, river rafting, lots of water sports, all kinds of trekking and hiking, boating, and nature loving. If you haven't caught our video about the castles of Snowdonia, please check that out. There are some really beautiful ones, and we feel like we got some great footage. But this one, we're going to head to the small town of Bala, which lies at the northern tip of Lake Bala, which is the largest lake in Wales and offers all that you could ask for in a Welsh village. Ian was our host at the Old Workhouse, which is the bed and breakfast where we stayed. We had an exceptional time there and loved his advice about best places to go for an evening out.
Well, Bala bestseller, for certainly for eating out, I think is there's a very nice Portuguese restaurant which I think you've been to, called Old Wives' Tales, which is quite a quirky little place. For a little town in the middle of Wales, we actually have quite a lot of, we've got quite a few pubs, restaurants, and they're all okay. They're all okay, and one or two places which are a drive away are very good. Okay. We did have a Michelin-starred restaurant called Tuffin Flan, which lost its star but is still very good. And there's another one called Palais Hall, which hasn't got a star yet, but probably will get one in the next year or two.
We'll take you to that quirky Portuguese restaurant, Old Wives' Tales, and introduce you to Rui and Monica, the owners and chef at that restaurant. The first thing you'll need to know about the Old Wives' Tales is that you'll need a reservation. Monica and Rui own and operate it, but they are the only ones working there, so they have staggered their serving times and cooking times so that they can freshly prepare every meal and serve it personally. But that means they only take reservations in 15 to 30 minute increments. So you'll need to go ahead and make that reservation ahead of time, and then make sure you're on time so that you don't throw off the rest of their schedule. Ian had called the restaurant quirky. I would say it's eclectic and a little bit quirky too, but it truly is an amalgamation of all of the things that both Monica and Rui have collected and done throughout their lives. They've owned other restaurants, they've lived in multiple countries. Monica is from Poland and Rui is from the Azores Islands and is Portuguese, hence this is his cooking from his island, taught by his mother's grandmothers and the people he grew up with. Monica has invested her time, energy, and talent into making this the showplace that it is. There isn't a corner you look in that there isn't something interesting and artistic to take hold of. She tells the story of this dragonfly, which they actually received from the artist at an exhibition, and has carried it with her throughout her travels and the multiple places where they have lived and set up shop. She was similarly proud of paintings that came from her homeland near Warsaw. And again, these are things she has carried with her and chooses to keep around her. The entire restaurant feels like that. It is warm, welcoming, inviting, but tells stories of home, wherever home may be.
That's where it was. He was army officer.
Rui is the chef and does all of the cooking. Monica serves and takes care of all of the guests. And that's it. It's just the two of them. Both Monica and Rui have connections with American military bases and have lived all over the world. Their English is spectacular and their experiences are diverse.
So I grew up right outside the base. That's where my English comes from. My dad was in the Portuguese military, you know. It's great. So I always had like American neighbors and American friends and
Maybe, yeah.
Although he's a self-taught cook, musician, and artist, he's had influences from people and places throughout his life.
I mean, obviously there's influence of my mom, and that's why the reason for the name. It's all, you know, my mom would bring other aunts, and you know, and there's always a saying, oh, you don't put this with fish or that, but you know, it's a specialty food. That's what it is. I was raised in Sautéed. I was born in Mozambique, been back when I was 2.5 years and been in Sautéed ever since. But my parents are from São Jorge, which is a different one altogether. And it's weird because it's 9 islands, 9 different accents, 9 types of cooking. Obviously, mine's the best. We all hate each other.
This menu gives you a glimpse of Rui's prowess in the kitchen and the diversity of his food, considering there is just one chef. We had a hard time deciding and came back more than once to try a number of different items. Our favorite was probably the hot jalapeño pork, but that pork with apple and mustard was absolutely delicious. We loved the herby fries, and the coconut rice was a really good combination with everything. But you will see from our table, we had just a huge variety of different kinds of foods. We used it a little bit like tapas and shared everything. And we were able to consume an entire pitcher of sangria on our own. This is a homemade sangria that was just spectacular. After experiencing his prowess with food, we couldn't wait to see what Rui did with music.
It's just amazing.
Stick around, we'll have a few songs later. And
If you're fortunate and Rui has time, he will provide entertainment for you after he's finished cooking.
again, the base, the American base, was a big place. I mean, like, we're talking about a small city with their own TV station, radio station, so I always had that influence of American music. And there's a lot of folks, you know, on the beach all the time, you know, with guitars, and as soon as somebody goes for a swim, I'll try to do what they were doing before, you know, and that's how you look at it.
Even if Rui isn't playing, we were really impressed with the ambient music in the restaurant.
It's a thing they're called Django radio, so J-A-N-G-O. Right, you can have it as an app on your phone or just open a browser. You don't have to sign in. And there's no ads, and you pick by gender, or if you type a musician who will play similar stuff all night. And it's good because sometimes it's like, what's that? I haven't heard that before. You discover new things, you know. The only thing is they keep it ads free because now and again they'll put a new artist you never heard about, you know. But otherwise it's not bad. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
The whole experience felt special.
I'll see you later. The thing is, I'm again self-taught guitar, so my covers don't exactly match the originals.
Sometimes you just connect with people, and it was really fun to find how quickly we kind of made friends with Monica and Rui. That's one of those relationships that we would go back to Bala just for Ian and Georgina and Monica and Rui, but only if we could get reservations and have a good meal and a great stay. Old Wives' Tales is a deceptively bigger restaurant than you'd expect, considering that they are having to stagger their reservation times and serving times. They actually have bigger rooms towards the back and can seat a pretty substantial number of people.
I am actually trying, I've been recording today, there's a friend of mine, one of the musicians that actually comes here quite a lot and plays with us. They're called Jackson and William, Brilliant Clown. And he has a little recording studio, so I'm trying to put a little repeat together, you know, so, and this is one of the songs that I'm working on, so yeah, thanks for the applause, I really appreciate that.
Aside from the specialty restaurants like Old Wives' Tales, there were a number of traditional pubs. We went to some that were very sports-oriented and real local hangouts. In fact, they were so local that there were kids at the bar checking in with family after school. But pubs were welcoming and provided a lot of character on the high street. The local coffee shop had a laundromat attached to it and could do clothing turnaround in 2 days. If you weren't looking to eat out, the local co-op made grocery shopping simple. Also on the high street, we found a
chippy shop with good takeaway and a small eat-in facility that was totally local and obviously frequented by locals.
You've got lots of choices and all of them good. Thanks for joining from the heart of Snowdonia and Bala, where we have enjoyed the food, hospitality, and those stunning landscapes.
Oh, thank you so much, folks. It was lovely to meet you both. Thank you.